Ooh, I need my headset. I'll be right back. Okay, I got my headset. Share, copy link. Let's go. So, as the title of this stream implies, I'm making granny squares today using these two colors. I've already made 3. Yeah, the reason I am making these granny squares is so I can make a bag for a friend. He's paying me good money for this bag, so I gotta make it a good bag. I'm using my stepdad's chair today because I don't feel like moving the tray table over to my chair. Lazy, I know, but I have the living room to myself, so I'm allowed to make these decisions. Just making granny squares. Which is a good, like, I would say a granny square is a good, like, starting project for someone who wants to learn to crochet. Especially since there's so many things you can do with granny squares. Like, this bag is not the only thing you can do with granny squares. The current model of the Crocheter suit is made of granny squares. There hasn't been a whole lot going on in my life lately, so I don't have a whole lot to talk about. My birthday is coming up, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. I will be 29. Not sure what to do about the fact that I'm about to be 29. What did you have for breakfast today? Trick question. I actually haven't had breakfast today. I normally sleep through breakfast. But thank you for asking. It's good to check up on people like that. What did you have for breakfast, Kanik? Rice and tofu? Nice, nice. Tofu doesn't have to be bad. It Tofu basically tastes like whatever you cook it in. Yeah. Kind of like granny squares. They can make so many things. Anyway, about this bag, I have a friend of mine who I asked him like, "Hey, if I were to start making bags, would you want one?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And I was like, "Okay, what kind do you want? You want like a grocery tote? You want like a backpack? You want like a whatever?" And he was like, "Yeah, make it a tote bag." So here I am making granny squares to make a tote bag. Because that is what he is paying me to make. And yes, this is a commission. Okay, I got scissors. Had to make sure. I might do a tutorial on how to make granny squares in the future. Well, I'm probably going to end the stream here. Um, Simply because. Oh, my dad just came in. How many squares? I don't know yet. I don't know how many squares yet. But if you're willing to watch, I'm willing to keep going. Each square is about 6 inches. So I figure probably like might need at least 36. How big do you plan it to be? Well, I was thinking of making it about the size of a usual grocery bag. Because he said to make it like a tote bag. And you usually get tote bags at the grocery store. You know, like here's what I've got so far. Yes, hello, Dresser. You can't see it. My mom's dog just came up to me. Yes, hello. Hello. And he's walking away. Yeah, I just need someone in the chat to keep talking to me to keep the conversation going. Because, like, sure, I could talk about my experience playing Doom for the first time, but I don't know if... okay, the puppy loves it. Yes, he does. Yeah, I could talk about my experience playing Doom for the first time, but I don't know if that's going to be all that interesting, especially if I'm just making granny squares. Because I'll admit, I really didn't expect to enjoy Doom as much as I'm enjoying it. You know, I've always been more about the cartoony games, the family-friendly games like Mario Party. Oh, the BFG. Oh, I haven't unlocked the BFG yet. But yeah, I've always been more about stuff like Super Smash Brothers and Sonic and Crash Bandicoot. But I wanted to get back into game development because it's something I haven't really done a whole lot of since high school, you know, back in the 2010s. And I was like, you know, I should make another first person shooter. Because according to my buddies, I made kind of decent ones. I figure, hey, if I could make another one of those, I might be able to make a good $5 or $10 off of it. And I figured, well, if I'm gonna make a first person shooter, I need to know how they work. And what better first person shooter to study than Doom? One of the grandfathers of the genre. And when I bought it, it was purely for the sake of studying it, so I could figure out, okay, what's the gameplay loop here? What's the satisfaction here? And what I came to find is it's very cathartic. You know, it's definitely a power fantasy. I can tell you that much right now, because you're basically a one-man army trying to eradicate the forces of hell. So yeah, it's definitely a power fantasy, which I guess you could argue a lot of games are. You know, being that army of one going against the bad guys. And you could say that that's the same thing for Mario. Because let's be real, most Mario games, you're just playing as Mario, going against Bowser's entire army. I still say you need to watch the movie. I should watch the movie. If I can find it, uh, it might be, maybe it's on Netflix. If I can find that movie, I'll watch it. I think I have it on that hard drive. I might have it on that hard drive. I might. I don't know. But yeah, if I can find that Doom movie, like on streaming or something, I'll watch it. It's probably on Netflix. Oh, it's a Bioforce gun. Bullshit. Very true, but the formula works. Yes, the formula definitely works. Um, you know, this idea that you're just this one man army going against an evil army definitely works. It is definitely a good formula for a game. But yeah, I've come to enjoy it, and I feel like part of the reason things like the glory kills, where you get this quick little cutscene of the Doomslayer doing something as the final blow to the demons. I feel like part of the reason it feels so good to do that and just clear a room is because of just how much trouble these demons give you. Because Doom is not an easy game. Doom is not easy. And the weapons they give you. Oh, 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 oh. The weapons they give you make you want to grunt like Tim Allen. The cutscenes are cool. You're damn right the cutscenes are cool. Like, one of the glory kills in this game has you rip a demon's arm off and smack him with it. Like, you literally killed a guy with his own arm. And on top of that, like, most of the lore in Doom is optional. Like, sure, you unlock it as you go with like data entries and stuff, but there's nothing forcing you to read it. You know, if you want to go in blind and just wreck everything, not giving a damn about the lore, you can. And that's kind of what I've chosen to do because, you know, Doom was never about the lore. I would argue Doom is more about the killing than about the lore. I'm not going to stop other people from saying otherwise. Because there's plenty of lore, there's plenty of story. Alright, I'll be right back. Need to grab my coffee. Sorry about that, my coffee was out of another chair. But yeah, Doom is definitely more about the guns and the enemies than about having complex story. That said, the parts of the story I was paying attention to were kind of cool. And I will leave it at that. The parts of the story I paid attention to were kind of cool. But you know what's cooler? The guns. Like, your basic pistol has infinite ammo. And if you read the data entry about the pistol, it explains why. And the explanation is the bullets are not physical bullets, they're made of plasma. And it's got like a plasmic converter, whatever, in the gun that creates that plasma. So these bullets are made of pure energy. Granted, that backstory, well, it did seem to have a good backstory. Yes, Doom has a good story. And I, one of the bits I love is you go to this energy thing. I forget if it was a converter or whatever, or an extractor. But this guy who's like guiding you through the facility, so like, first you must remove the hinges, and Doom guy just grabs it, chunk, and he just beats it. He just beats it into submission. And like, if your goal was to destroy it. Yeah. Okay, back to Granny Squares. Yeah, I bought Doom Eternal last night, which is the sequel to the 2016 entry of Doom. Haven't played it yet, but I've heard it's even better. Got a hair on my tongue. One of the features of Eternal that I'm definitely looking forward to is what's called the Ripatorium, where you can basically hone your skills against these enemies and just kill as much as you want. Not subtle at all. Yeah, very much not subtle. I don't think Doom was ever known for subtlety. Yeah, last night I also bought Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time for my Switch. Um, Now, from what I've heard, Crash 4 it's one of the hardest games in the franchise. But that's mostly if you're trying to go for 100% completion. If you're just going from point A to point B, then it's still pretty difficult, but not as much. Because one of the things you have to do for 100% completion is getting all the gems. And each stage has like 12 gems to get each one for doing different shit. Then there's the time trials, and then there's the insanely perfect relic, which is where you, if I remember correctly, you break all the boxes, get all the Wumpa fruit, get everything without dying. So it's one of those games where it's like, it's already pretty hard, but if you decide you want to go the extra mile, it's even harder. Which I guess is kind of fair. You know, if you're looking for 100% completion, it should be a challenge. Especially in a game like Crash Bandicoot, which, you know, I hate to break it to people, but Crash Bandicoot was already pretty hard. Do you start either if you do? I have no idea what you just tried to say. Oh, start over if you die. I think so. Like, obviously, you go to the previous checkpoint, but if you're going for the insanely perfect relic, you basically have to exit the level and go back in if you want to get the insanely perfect relic. Where did I put those scissors? Oh, there they are. See, what sucks about trying to size up this bag and figure out how big to make it, I can't call the person that this bag is for because I'm using my phone to record the stream. But yeah, so I've now got 4 granny squares. I started on the second row here. So here's what we've got kind of so far. Okay, it's getting a bit hot for this shirt. And by that, I mean it's 95 degrees. And for some reason, the AC hasn't kicked on. So I'm going to go check on that. End the stream here. Try to cool the house down a bit. And I might resume the stream later once the house is cooled down a bit. How big is the bag? Let me see. Let me measure it. The bag is currently, let's see, each square is about 6 inches. So I would say about 18 by 12 right now. Yeah, my buddy who ordered this didn't exactly give me a size to shoot for. He just said make it a tote bag. Which is fine. You know, we can discuss the size later. But yeah, the house is getting really hot, and I am sweating like hell in this shirt. So I'm going to try to cool down the house a bit, and I'll get back to you guys in a bit. All right, see ya.